Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Restorative Yoga. I'm Kathy Zerler with Deborah Basham as our host, and I'd like to start today by just reading a quote or two from one of my books on yoga that's called Relax and Renew, which is exactly what we're doing in this practice. So this is a great title, even if I just told you the title. Hey, everybody, relax and renew. But the subtitle for this is Restful Yoga for Stressful Times. Now, the copyright for this book is 1995. And now 1995 has nothing on 2020, just saying. So I thought I'm going to read through this book, not now, but just to get some more ideas on how we can refresh and renew in these stressful times. So, Anne Morrow Lindbergh, too many people, too many demands, too much to do, competent, busy, hurrying people. It just isn't living at all. Now, I've heard from some people, they miss the quarantine. They miss having to go out and do whatever it is they do. I really understand that. And I think it's up to us to choose if we're getting too busy and we want to pull back and shelter in just for the sake of our souls. So, having said that, lie down on your backs in rest pose or whatever rest pose is for you. Let out some breath as you settle in and take stock. Take stock of how you are. Scan your body. As you scan your head, if we're going from the top down, just turn your head gently from side to side in a gentle flow as you breathe. And then coming to center, and we'll do a little more neck warm up in all these warm ups, but we're going to scan our body. So that was, how is your neck right now? Squeeze your facial features, squeeze them all together and release all at once. How does your face feel? Release your jaw. Notice that. Roll back your shoulders and notice. Notice your arms by your sides. Are your palms up or down? Either way is correct. Travel down your torso. Relax those muscles. Relax, make a conscious effort to relax from the neck, through the chest, to the navel. And then when you get down to the navel, squeeze your buttocks. Pull down on your abs. Squeeze your hips, squeeze your quads. All at once. Release everything all at once. Traveling down your legs to your feet, which right now are naturally open. And turn your toes up toward the ceiling, point the feet, squeeze the hips. Breathe into the point and the squeeze, and let go all at once. Turn your feet up again toward the ceiling and flex, push through the heels, squeeze the hips. And notice this, draw down on the belly. All at once, release. And now relax, take a quick scan. Your face and your neck and your shoulders are more relaxed. Your arms and hands, more relaxed. Your torso, your quads, more relaxed, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And so let's turn our heads now to one side and go up to our range of motion on that side. And it changes. And so we're being mindful of how far we can go in this practice right now with every body part. So we always go up to, but not through our range of motion. And we move slowly in and slowly out. Come back to center. Turn your head the other way, same thing on this side. Hold it here. Breathe back to center. Engage the low core, squeeze it all together. The hips, the glutes, the abs, the TVA muscles that run horizontally right across your navel, all of that is engaged. The quads join right in. They're not part of the core, but they join right in because they're so closely connected. All at once, release. These are the muscles that protect our lower back and everything else when we're lifting, climbing, pretty much doing anything that is beyond a nice gentle walk or, just nice gentle activity. These are the muscles that help us in heavier work, heavier exercise. These are the core muscles. So keep them strong. Check your shoulders. The weight of what we're about to do will be on your shoulders. As we lift up one arm, up off the floor, and notice the shoulder holding the weight. Because the shoulder is right next to and part of the core. Hold it and breathe. Now the arm is not heavy, so you don't need to make a conscious effort to tuck in the low core, but you certainly may do that if you need to practice. Practice makes perfect when we need our bodies to kick in even when we are distracted. All at once, drop the arm. Other arm, same thing, lift it up. Notice the shoulder holding the weight. You are breathing into the part that we are working right now, which is the shoulder and the arm that's elevated. If you would like to engage the low core and you want the practice, it's always a good idea. And then all at once, everyone, drop it, let everything go. Let it all go. Both arms, lift them up. This time, squeeze the core. And this time, if you'd like, you have the option of making two fists and squeezing the fists to increase blood circulation in the arms. So we're doing a little bit more contraction here, holding up a little bit more weight safely. And we are warming up. We are stimulating our bodies from the inside out. All at once now, drop it. Let it all go. Let it go. Again, moving down to the low core. Let's squeeze it all together. Hold it here. Notice the squeeze. Notice the goodness as the muscles immediately go into the contraction because they're now practiced. We've already done this 3 or 4 times. Release that. Keep practicing the core muscles as we move forward. Lift up one leg and squeeze the core. The leg should be just off the floor because the leg is much heavier than the arms and we are going to drop the weight. So there's a lot of weight in one leg. Keep the belly tight, 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 tight. remembering to breathe into the core because that is the working part. And then all at once, let everything go. Let it all go. Other leg, lift it up, squeeze the core. Hold it here and breathe. Work the core. Work the leg. Work your breath. All at once, let everything go. Let it all go. Bend both knees now and bring the knees up close to your body. One hand behind each knee as you roll on your back. Nice and slow. As you bring the legs in, you're not only getting a back massage, but notice that you're getting a belly massage with your thighs. We have everything we need. We have everything we need to take good care of ourselves. Come in close, lift the legs up, look at your feet, bring the legs back so that you don't want to take them too much farther back. Keep the knees soft. So now you're at your range of motion here. Put your hands on the low belly, have your elbows and your upper arms on the floor for stability, and point both feet. And let it go. Gently flex, press through the heels. Watch what you're doing. Let it go. Press the sides of your big toes together and squeeze the inner thighs. Hold it here. Watch what you're doing. We're training our bodies here in mindfulness. All the cells have memory, muscle memory, release. Press the sides of your heels together, squeeze the glutes. Watch what you're doing. Be mindful. Pay attention. Let it go. Bend your elbows now and open up your legs in a big V so you can hold the sides, the outsides of your legs with your hands like kickstands and gently rotate the ankles. First in one direction and then in the other direction. So when we do something bilateral or something as in a rotation, we go both directions. We do both sides. Come back to center. And it's not always equal on each side. So be aware of that and honor wherever your body is. On one side it might be better, and the other side it might not be as good. And that's okay, that's perfectly normal. Now point the feet out here and pronate. And notice the inner thigh stretch has increased. Be careful, go up to your range of motion limit, no farther. My only rule is do not hurt yourself. Do no harm. Release. Flex and gently supinate. Bring the toes in. Notice the outsides of your legs, the IT band, the sartorius muscle that runs around from the outside of the hips to the inside of the knees. So let go of that and bring the legs in. Bend the knees. One hand behind each knee and roll around. Stimulating blood flow, releasing, relaxing, feeling good. And roll onto one side, using your elbow and the other hand to press up to a seated position, nice and slow. And this protects your lower back. So what we just did there, the elbow and the other hand, that protects us from straining our low back, especially if we've been sleeping or in bed for a long time. Come into staff pose now. Pull back that fleshy part. You are on the sits bones. Feel those bones, they're in there. And roll back your shoulders. Keep rolling them back, feeling the engagement in the scapula, and then notice your seat and the length between each vertebrae from the hips up to the neck. You have a tall seat. It's the single best thing to do for a healthy spine. Good posture, seated or standing, posture. All right. Bring the arms up overhead and put your hands together. Put your palms together. Lift up, squeeze the hips. Lift up out of the armpits. Bring back the chin and then soften in. Bring the hands down into prayer pose and bow your head. Take a moment. Bring up your head. Bring your arms up overhead, and let's do a little bit of windmill breathing. So inhaling up and exhaling down, but you don't have to match your breath to the movement. If you'd like to just breathe normally and work the shoulders, that's okay. And if you'd like to inhale up and exhale down, feel free to do that. Some people like it, and for some, it's just one thing too much right now. So be your own best teacher. Do the right things for yourself. And the next time you come up, fold your hands and turn your palms up toward the ceiling and regain that tall spine. Squeeze the hips, bring back the chin. Feel the length and the strength in your vertebrae. Release. Bring the arms down to parallel, palms are up. Gently lift the air like wings, like a landing place for little people, druids and fairies, spirits. And then stop, palms down, and gently pat the air. Working the shoulders in all of its directions. Bring your palms forward, small circles backwards. You can take a break from this whenever you want and come back in when you are ready. Sitting tall, rotating backwards, come back to center, small circles forward. Hang in there if you can. Stop if you need to, and come back in when you are ready. Come into goal pulse now. Keep going up and down, small movements. Strangely, this is much easier than the extension, even though you're still working an equal amount of heavy arm. And then come down to scarecrow and lift up and down, up and down. And then swing your elbows. And release. And roll back your shoulders, feeling good. Say ah. Ah. Feeling good is looking good. All right. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what we're doing. And roll back your shoulders. So notice my posture is nice and tall. Notice your own, nice and tall. Soften and gently fold in half. So let your hands slide down toward your feet. Let your head go in the direction of your knees. No forcing. Soften a little more. Slowly roll up. Bringing up your head and rolling back the shoulders. Finding your seat. And then bend one knee. Bring that knee up close and then place that foot on the outside of the extended leg. Bring the arm that the knee is bent, so here's the arm, in to the inside of the bent knee, and the other arm is extending behind you. So the same arm that's extending behind you is on the same side as the extended leg. Now you're in the pose. Find your edge here, and let's begin to work this pose by looking over the back shoulder and gently arching your back. Squeeze the belly, lift your chin, and notice. Point the foot, point the extended foot. Do anything else you think might be useful for you. If there's anything else you can think about extending or contracting or working in this pose, go for it. Soften in place. Move a little bit. Just let your body see if it can find or wants to be in a slightly different position in this asana. And when you're ready, return to the flex, looking over the back shoulder, pointing the forward foot, arching your back, lifting your chin, finding your place, squeeze the abs. Do your best. Just breathe in now to this yin pose. This is a holding pose. We go in and out of every holding pose slowly. Because these are poses that really work our bodies from the inside out. Sometimes they're called static stretches. Hold it and breathe. And then let go. Unwinding, uncrossing, nice and slow, coming back to posture. Pull that fleshy part back. Come back to your seat. And very gently fold in half. Hands toward the feet. Head toward the knees. As you fold in half and relax. Relax in this forward fold. Let it go. And roll up. Pull in the belly. Tuck the chin. Come up nice and slow. Head comes up. Roll back the shoulders, and I'm going to turn the other way, so we're going to do the other side, and I just want you to be able to see better. So, same thing, other leg. Get into posture, bend that other leg. Put that foot on the outside of the extended leg. Bring that arm to the inside of the bent knee, and the other arm comes behind you, so the back arm is extended, and the same side, whatever side you're on, that foot is extended. So you're in the pose. Begin to look behind you as you arch your back and lift your chin and find your edge, adding a belly tuck, a pointed, extended foot, breathing, working the pose from the inside out. Really not moving, except that you're engaging the muscles, your smile, the pointed foot, the lifted chin, the arched back, all of this is working the pose. And if anybody saw you doing this, they might think you were a, I don't know, yoga clothing model or something. just sitting there waiting for your picture to be taken, being as still as you can be, because nobody would notice the imperceptible changes that we're making in this pose. And now soften in place. Let your body move a little, just enough, not too much. And come back to center and regain the flex. Go back in. Find your edge. You are strong. You are gaining strength. You are gaining endurance and flexibility and mobility and balance. All in 1 hour. And it is a practice. So if this 1 hour could be it, you'd be done. However, practice doesn't work that way. So find a way to do the right things for yourself as often as you possibly can, while still being gentle with yourself. Because you are a child of the universe. You are God's gift. You are a living spirit. Release now. Unwind, uncross, find your seat, and once again, seated forward bend, fold in half. Ragdoll on the top half of your body. Just let it melt. And then bring up your head, roll up, and let's stand up. So the way we safely do this is to come first to the table and then push up to a crouch and then stay here for just a moment and begin to roll up. So we've been on the mat for a little bit. So as we come up, we're letting our blood flow from our brain back to our heart. And when we do that slowly, we have a very good chance of alleviating any dizziness. If, however, you have some dizziness, some lightheadedness after getting up too quickly, bring your hand into prayer pose. Actually, you don't even have to bring your hands into prayer pose. Just put your fingers in the center of your chest and gently press the xiphoid process and tuck your chin. And that, if you cannot sit down, will help you to alleviate dizziness. So prayer pose is a stabilizing spiritual pose. It has the same principles physiologically as what I just told you. But when we bow our head now and apply gentle acupressure with our thumbs into the center of our chest, let's take a moment of soul stability, spirit stability. Just breathe and notice the peace within. Bring up your head. Bring your arms up overhead and release. And sway gently from side to side. Arms are at your sides, gently, softly, unwinding as it were. Coming back to center. Sweep your arms up again and lift up. Look at your feet. You want your feet forward. You want your legs straight down from the hips. And then begin to sway from side to side, working the obliques. So keep your body in the frontal plane as you sway gently from side to side, feeling good. The next time you come to center, lift up at center. Lift up the toes, widen the fingers, bring back the chin, soften here, and then lean in one direction into crescent moon. Let the side you're leaning into, let that arm go down the side of that leg, and the upper arm wherever the shoulder feels good. So we might want to be in a real crescent here, or a straight arm, or your arm could be across your body, or on your waist. You have options in every pose. So do the right things. Experiment. Our bodies change. Our goals change. Our lives change. We can adjust. When we accept where we are, we can adjust and we can advance. Come all the way back up. Acceptance. Lift up at center. Soften and lean the other way. Crescent moon in the opposite direction. That arm is the stable arm that you're leaning into. The other arm goes where the shoulder feels good. So my take on everything that's going on right now in our country and elsewhere in the world is acceptance really needs to happen. We need to accept what other people are doing. And I'm not saying we have to be happy or accepting of people that are really harming other people. But realize that everybody's in a different place and just do your best to find the good in every situation. And I pray you are successful. Come back up. Lift up at center. Soften and release. I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to do some forward bends. So I'm going to turn so you can see me. Good posture. Roll back your shoulders, everyone. Elbows in, closely to the waist. Hands are soft. We're not going to use our hands for the forward bend. So those muscles can be soft. As we bend our knees, and the knees are above the feet. So the behind goes behind us as we slide the hands down, touch the mat and hang out. Let your head hang between the arms. This is an opportunity to lengthen your neck. It's almost like traction. And it's lovely when someone does traction to you, like a massage therapist. Someone that knows what they're doing. And then tuck the chin, pull in the belly, and roll up one beautiful bone at a time. Think about lining up the vertebrae as your head comes up. Notice the blood flowing toward your heart as your shoulders roll back. And then sweep up gently, softly into the extended mountain up overhead. So we're always soft on the moves. Right now, lift up your toes, widen your fingers, then plant your feet, soften your body, look up and arch your back. Delicious. This is a modified sun salutation. Bring up your head and release. So we are noodles when we move, and we are breadsticks when we get to the edge of the pose. Not trying to make you hungry here for Italian food. Forward bend, but it is really good. Elbows in, sit way back. Bend the knees, fold in half, slide the hands down to the mat. Now, if you cannot touch the mat, either bend your knees or use a prop. Hang out. Shake your head yes. Hold on here. Remember, this is an opportunity to just hang out with your head. Let it just release. Let the neck release. Notice the blood flowing to your brain, stimulating everything in your skull. And then tucking the chin, pull in the belly, and roll up. One beautiful bone at a time as the head comes up. Shoulders roll back. Sweep up the arms. Lift up. Extended mountain. Lengthen. Look up. Plant your feet if your toes are up right now and arch your back. Release your jaw. Bring up your head. Release the arms. And gently sway from side to side. Okay, hands behind you. We're going into humble warrior. So humble warrior can be a flat back, and you can just lift the arms up a little bit. Look at your mat. Or you can fold in half with your upper body and let your arms and your hands come up toward the ceiling. So it's sort of like a forward bend. Probably not as stable, so that's why we warmed up with the forward bend, which is a very stable pose. But this is still coming out of the mountain, and so it's fairly stable. Come back up, nice and slow. Release the arms, roll back the shoulders. Notice your head coming up, coming into posture. Always find alignment in every pose. Sway from side to side. Hands on the waist now, still in the mountain for most of your body. Now you can widen your stance a little and soften your knees, twist to one side, looking over the posterior shoulder. Breathe into it. Come back to center. Turn the other way. Breathe into that. Come back to center. Come back to center. Turn the other direction. Come to center. Twist the other way. Center. Other direction. Center last time. Other direction. Release your arms. And sway gently, like a willow over a river. Just swaying, because the tree that is flexible, the person that is flexible, does not get bent out of shape. Let's sit down again now and go into the boat pose. So the boat is on the sits bones, and this is the boat, this V. It's a V-hull boat, not a scow. And your shoulders are rolled back and your knees are up. So the weight here is, it's core strength. The weight is coming out of the low core. If this is too hard with your legs up, put your hands behind your legs and you can stabilize yourself that way. But remember that the core is still doing the work. The arms are just an assist, like a prop. Okay, so now let's row the boat. You don't have to do this rowing if you want, because it is a little bit more challenging. But you can. Try it. Come out whenever you want to. Remember, this is your practice. And come back to center. Lower the feet. And lie down on your backs for the bridge pose. All the way down. Nice breath. Roll back your shoulders. The knees are just a little bit apart. Open and close your mouth, releasing your jaw. Lift up your pelvis. Be sure there's no pressure on your neck. And if there isn't, then rock up onto the shoulders. And find your place by arching your back, squeezing your hips, and then settling in, releasing around the muscles that it takes to hold your bridge. Breathe in to your bridge. This is spine strengthening. This is core strength. This is balance. Try to imagine every part of your body doing its part to hold up your bridge. Slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. When your back touches the mat, begin to rock your pelvis forward and back, just releasing your spine. This could become a little belly crunch if you'd like. You could pull in the abs when you tilt your pelvis toward your chin, and you can extend the abs as you rock toward your feet, or just do a simple release, hardly moving, rocking just enough. Settle in, center down, roll back your shoulders, and pelvic tilt into your second bridge. Rock up onto the shoulders. Arch. Hold it. Release a little, settle in. See if you can release whatever it is that you do not need to do whatever it is you want to do. Breathe it down, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, and rock your back. Feeling good. One more bridge. If you do not wish to do another bridge, which is your third bridge, do something else, or just be. Let's pull up one more bridge, rocking up onto the shoulders. Your body knows where it's going now. Arch, squeeze, and then release, and find that place where your body wants to be, where if we held this pose for 3 or 4 minutes, you would be okay. You would do that in a yin class. This is hatha, restorative, gentle hatha yoga, meant to work all parts of our bodies to get them ready to be still so that we can listen to our spirits, we can meditate, we can pray, we can be still and just be in the moment. Breathe it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the knees up, one hand behind each knee as you roll on your back a little bit more vigorously. Releasing, relaxing, massaging your spine. Bring the feet up into happy baby. Grab your feet and roll around a little bit more. Oh my goodness, it feels wonderful. And bring in the knees, arms out into airplane. Knees are in close as you lower both legs to the right, all the way to the mat. Turn your head to the left and roll that left palm so it's up. Right palm is down. Release, relax, and let go. It's imperative here that you are not holding up the weight of your legs. Let go. Continue to let go. Continue to notice what you're holding and if you need to hold it. Remember, you are safe. I used to say when I was in the studio at the Y, nobody is going to come up and adjust you unless you ask for it. And then it would be a very gentle adjustment. Moving your body the way it wants to move. Slowly now, one leg at a time, bring up your legs. Find your center, bring in the arms. One hand behind each knee and roll on your back. Whatever works, a little bit more vigorously though, to allow anything that needs to come back to center that might be a little out of place to articulate back into center. And happy baby, grab the feet, roll around a little bit more, getting more of the thoracic spine. And maybe a little bit more joy, imagining a baby discovering his or her feet. Bring the knees in close, arms out to airplane, legs to the left, all the way to the mat. Head to the right as you roll that palm up. Left palm is down. You're looking right and you're letting go. Breathe into your flexing spine. This is for you. This practice is all yours. I'm glad you're with me. You can always email me or call if you have a question or a comment. No pressure. There's really no pressure to do it really, really super technically right, as long as you're not hurting yourself. Do no harm, especially to yourself, and do no harm to anyone else ever. Very slowly, one leg at a time, bring up the legs, bring in the arms, come to center and roll around. First, with the knees bent, one hand behind each knee prevents overflexion of the knee joint. We don't want to do that. How many knee replacements do we have to find out about before we take better care of our knees? And then happy baby, roll around. And stretch out. Bring both arms up overhead behind you on the mat and press through the fingers and the toes. Soften and come back. Now bend one knee and bring that leg up and elevate that leg all the way up toward the ceiling. The other leg is on the mat. Place your hands right below the navel and engage the navel, engage the belly muscles, the TVA muscles. As you point and slowly lower, we're winding down now, that leg almost to the mat. And when you get almost to the mat, flex the foot and bring it up just as slowly. Slower is better. Keep going at your own pace, flexing up, pointing down, staying in control of it and using the core. You have worked every muscle group, every part of the body. Find something spiritual to inspire you when we finish our practice. I'll read one or two more things from Relax and Renew, Yoga for Stressful Times. And what time hasn't been stressful, I just might throw out. We've been stressed as humans since medieval times, and here we are again in a brand new type of stress, and we're dealing with it, right? We're doing our best. The next time you come close to the mat, release this leg, don't rush, and let everything melt. Just let it go. Let it go. Bend the other knee. Bring that leg up. The knee is soft. Place both hands palms down on the TVA muscles as you point and very slowly lower, almost to the floor. And when you get almost to the floor, flex the foot and bring it up. Nice and slow. Keep going. Pointing down, flexing up, working the core, breathing in to the core, breathing into everything. The next time you come close to the mat, no rush. Let everything go. Soften and breathe. Soften your face. Soften your shoulders. Check the engagement of your shoulders. Soften your arms right down to your fingertips. Wiggle your fingers. Soften your body from the core down to the hips and the quads. Release the legs. Soften the knees. Soften your feet. Wiggle your toes. Lift up your lips in a smile that is only for you. Deep breath. As you're resting in Shavasana, I'm going to read a couple passages to you from Rest, Renew, Yoga for Stressful Times. And you stay in Shavasana and just listen to the sound of my voice without any concern that you need to hear anything I'm saying, because you don't. You will hear what you need to hear. Thomas Merton. We are free to be at peace with ourselves and others, and also with nature. Rest in the present moment. As you inhale and exhale, be who and where you are. Do not attempt to separate yourself from what is happening around you. Rather, be with what is, equally aware of your internal sensations as well as the external world. Notice the sounds in the room and the sounds outside the room. Feel the weight and texture of your clothes on your body. What is around you and in you is part of this perfect moment. Weave all of that into your relaxation. When you have finished, take several more long, slow, silent breaths. Slowly open your eyes and allow your vision to come into focus. Return to whatever you need to do next, feeling better, more refreshed, more optimistic, and more ready to be in the present. Please stay in Shavasana for a few more moments, or however long you're able to, whatever you need. It's time to close our session, and so on behalf of Deborah Basham, our host, and myself, Kathy Zerler, say together, to yourself and to us silently, Namaste, and thank you for being here.